What is history? History can be defined as the study of past events of our planet, especially pertaining to humans. A better question is, why don't some learn from our past? It is obvious that history is constantly recurring. That is, events that have occurred in the past will repeat in the near and distant future. There is simply no answer to the second question, for our species have been making the same mistakes since the dawn of our existence. We, as humans, are greedy people who seek power, control, and glory. The few who gain power oftentimes attempt to take ownership of the areas they control. This has been seen through paramount leaders of our civilization, but two in particular are Napoleon Bonaparte and Adolf Hitler. While each is different in their backgrounds and ideals, their military expeditions and mistakes are one and the same, even if their events took place over a century apart. Each man grew up in different lives than the other. While Napoleon grew up in a noble class that enabled him to join the army, he was able to become the head of that in a few years. Hitler grew up in a poor home plagued by death of his mother and father. He also had to work to get into the army and served in World War I. Following World War I, Hitler felt that Germany was treated unfairly by the Treaty of Versailles. This treaty blamed Germany and stripped it all of its former glory. While they rose to power in different times, their reasons for doing so are fairly similar. Napoleon and Hitler both wanted to be leaders to give their country what they felt was rightfully theirs. Each man wanted to expand their country into an empire. Ironically, each man wasn't actually of direct origin of the country they ruled. Napoleon was born in Corsica, an island in the Mediterranean Sea. Hitler was born in Austria-Hungary. Napoleon gained power through his hero status of war, while Hitler gained it through his Nazi party making its way into the political and public eye. Once each man established themselves as leaders, they worked to pull their country out of economic hardship. Napoleon was able to balance France's money supply, while Hitler got Germany out of the Great Depression. Napoleon sought to control the governments of other countries without necessarily having to invade and destroy them. Hitler, however, sought to extend Germany's borders as far as he could. A huge difference between Napoleon and Hitler was that Napoleon supported equal rights for Jewish people. He felt that Jews had great contributions to society and were given jobs and rights that they weren't able to have previously. Hitler, as we all know, persecuted Jews all throughout Europe and eventually began the Holocaust, or the mass killing of Jewish people through concentration camps. In addition to the need for allied forces against each leader, both of them also made the same exact mistake. Napoleon invaded Russia on June 24, 1812, in hopes of taking control of such a vast empire. He didn't take into consideration how dangerous the winters of Russia would be. 210,000 of them died. He and his army retreated and left Russia by December 14, 1812. Hitler did not learn from the mistakes of Napoleon. He invaded Russia on June 22, 1941. He anticipated a quick end to this war, but he did not prepare for the winter. Germany retreated fully from Russia by December 5, 1941. They both began in late June and were both out by December. In both of their last days as leaders, they requested that their army and people fight opposing forces to the death. Napoleon was captured and sent to an island to live out the remainder of his life. Hitler was being attacked by US troops from the west and Russian troops by the east, and knew that his end was near. He committed suicide to avoid being arrested. These two men proved that history will constantly repeat itself, and no matter what happens, another man like both of them will come again.